What's up, athletes, and welcome to Beyond the Ice Wall, the Ninth Continent Part 2. So this was the game that I made for the Days of Horror Game Jam. This is a sequel to my other game, The Ninth Continent, that I made a while ago. I can't remember if I actually played a video, or if I played that for a video or not. I think I did, because it's what I normally do, but this is the sequel, and it's based on the Beyond the Ice Wall conspiracy theory. If you don't know what that theory is, it's basically a flat Earth theory that says that Antarctica, or not Antarctica, but the world that we know is surrounded by an ice wall, and you can access it through Antarctica. And what's beyond the ice wall are a bunch of extra continents and other cultures and stuff. So I liked that idea because it kind of makes Earth seem more interesting. I'm not a flat earther, but I kind of want to be because that theory is really cool. So this is just my attempt at bringing that idea of the Earth is flat into a video game, which doesn't really work now that I say that out loud because the game is a part of my little horror franchise of FPS creator games, and those games do canonically have Earth as a planet, not a flat Earth. But I guess this is just existing there too somehow. I haven't really thought this whole little franchise out, but whatever. Let's hit new game. So the idea for this game is you play as this guy Truth Untold, who's a social media star. So that was me, if you couldn't tell. Um, my idea was that I would be playing is that the game would have you playing as a social media influencer called Truth Untold, who is live streaming his little escapades to Antarctica to prove that the ice wall is real. I got this idea. This is unfortunate. I don't know how to fix this little texture clipping here, but I got this idea because a couple of weeks ago, I guess by now it's been a couple of months, but uh, I would just sit in my bed before I go to bed and I just browse Instagram reels. And I would just come across the craziest conspiracy theories. One of them was this ice wall theory. And I'm just like, I don't know where that these theories come from. But like I would just see them, they'd pop up on my feed, and I'm like, this is kind of interesting. I like this idea. Let's see if I can turn this into a story. And that music that you heard in the loading screen is music that was played in those conspiracy theory videos. So that's what I use for the loading screen music in this game. So as you can see, the health bar is just a record logo. I wanted to make it flashing, but that took a little too long to implement, so I didn't get it done. I also wanted to put a little camera overlay, but I'm not a huge fan of camera overlays personally, so I didn't do that just because I don't like it. Alright, here we go. So I had a lot of fun recording the voice lines here, just pretending to be a famous social media influencer. Um, so this is, like I said, this is a sequel to my other game, The Ninth Continent. The idea I had in The Ninth Continent is I based that off of Chile being one of the only countries in the world to have any claims to Antarctica, and I like that idea. So I took that idea for that game and had it be Chile was getting up to some nefarious things in Antarctica. They were making zombies and stuff. But then with this game, I decided to go back to that idea and change things up a little bit, as you'll later see. So I got this little hut. Nice, quaint, cozy. Keeps you warm from the outside. I had a lot of fun getting the wind effects and putting them in. A lot of the reviews that I got for this game have said that the game does a really good job at making you feel cold. So I'm proud of that. So I wanted to try to make this a bit more realistic. Your guy's not a soldier or anything, so that's probably the most unrealistic part is how far you end up making it. But you fight after you kill your first guy, he freaks out a little bit and is like, "Oh, I can't believe I did this. I'm now a terrorist." So I had a lot of fun with this little backyard area. I'm not really sure why I had fun making this, but I really liked just making this little fenced off area. Um, just to like add to scope, make this place feel bigger than it actually is. So this is actually a real image that the Chilean government posted on Instagram. I don't know if it's the Chilean government, but the Chilean Instagram page posted that image. After we play this, I'll actually pull up those images, or pull up this loading screen images so we can see them for what they are, and I'll go into a bit of detail about them. But yeah, the official Chilean Instagram posted that, so I thought that was hilarious. So I decided to use that for part of the game. So this guy, he's from my Sector 12 game. He's called a Watcher. The Watchers are a secret organization that are they're kind of evil. So I decided to bring them back for something like this, since this is about conspiracy theories. So this room, I originally actually wanted to do a bit more with this area. I originally wanted you to actually have like another like side area you could explore down here, and there would have been more enemies, but also it would have expanded on the story a little bit. I couldn't get it to work in time because I figured it's a game jam. I don't have a lot of time. I have a lot of stuff that I have to do with the voice acting and everything. Maybe if I have time to make it there. Ran out of time, sadly. So maybe I'll do an update where you can explore back there, but I'm not sure if I'm going to at this rate. But yeah, there was originally going to be more to coming here than just getting more ammo for your gun. So another thing that I ran out of time in doing, I was originally going to put a snow texture over these bulldozers. I ran out of time, and that's probably the worst thing about this game is that I didn't texture these to look like they're snow covered. But oh well. So that specific line, I was not sure where to put it. I decided to put it in here because I guess it made the most sense to have him comment on this room that you're in. And I didn't think it would make a whole lot of sense for it to be out here. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't the greatest line placement. I had fun making this little garage area. I don't know. Something about the cameras all kind of moving in sync. They're not entirely in sync, but something about them all moving together is just really kind of satisfying for me. So something that I did run out of time on also was I wanted your character to kind of react every time you killed someone, but also at the same time I think that got a little annoying. So I just kind of cut that. I probably should have done more with it though, at least early on. But oh well, hindsight is 2020. So, this is supposed to be a horror game. Unfortunately, I don't think I did a very good job at making this a horror game. This one's more of an action game with a couple of zombies in it. That was the first zombie you end up fighting. Um, I guess I'll explain more as I go along. But yeah, this one's more action than horror, and I think that definitely affected the ranking of this game. This game this game took 6th place out of 16 entries, so I'm okay with that. I personally feel it should have taken at least 5th, but it isn't entirely horror. This one is more action focused, so I can understand that not taking for 5th place. I'm happy with 6th place. I just personally feel it should have gone in 5th, but oh well. So these BTRs, I've had them for forever. I've never really used them because they don't really fit with any game I've ever made because these are snow covered, but I decided to use them for here, and I think they work pretty well in this little area. So for this loading screen, as you can hear, I made that the sound a little slower. So this is probably the most old school level I've ever made. Most of my games are corridor shooters, so this one is definitely the most like that. One thing that I really wanted to focus on though was in this area, there's no music. There's no sound in here, and except for you walking. Oh, there's not even that. There's a little bit. So this is something that a lot of people I don't think noticed, and this is intentional, but this is a secret area. You can get a shotgun in here. This is entirely secret. You don't have to go here. I put this in here specifically because I'd been playing a lot of Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and they have secret areas with a lot of goodies in there, and I tried to implement that here. Picking this up too spawns in some zombies that you can use it on. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. That's a completely random interaction too. You won't interact with them if you don't go there and pick up the shotgun. So yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. So that was probably the worst effect. So basically, the fog effect that I have here, it works by distance, and I was able to make it so that while you're in here, it wouldn't activate until you go outside. But unfortunately, it's just really jarring like that. I could probably make it work better, but I didn't have a lot of time. I only had a few. What was it? I think it was a month to make this. And since I was doing a whole lot of stuff that I've never really done before, at least in terms of game design, it was a bit of a struggle, but it was a good struggle. So that guy is a watcher. They use text to speech to communicate with each other. That's always been a thing. That's been how it is in Sector 12. Originally, in Sector 12, they used the text to speech thing because in Sector 12, there's no voice acting whatsoever until you get to an area with a watcher where they use text to speech to communicate with one another. And that I thought would have made it kind of a bit more ominous, a bit more creepy. That's the only voice acting in the game. Excuse me. But I decided when I foolishly brought the Watchers back in Flesh and Bones, and I regret doing that because it was the dumbest cameo I've ever made in a game, and I sincerely regret doing that. If I ever remake Flesh and Bones, I am not putting the Watchers back in there. But basically, I brought them back, and they use text-to-speech to communicate there, so that's canonically how they talk to one another. They have this robotic kind of sounding voice. But here, I think it again works pretty well. They're ominous. You see them in the background a couple of times. You don't know who they are necessarily. So I think it works, and it meshes with my voice pretty well. So I think I should have saved that line for a little later, but for specifically right here where you can see them spawn in if you look behind you. But yeah, I probably should have saved it for when they spawn in, but I kind of wanted the jump scare of them being behind you. Oh well. So this is actually where part of that record mechanic I wanted to implement in more would have come into play here. When you would have reached here, the HUD would have changed, so instead of saying record, it would have been on standby. It actually would have, I would have had it change as soon as you got inside the other part of the building, which in the previous level. I guess I should have mentioned it there. Oh well. But it would have been on standby. Again, ran out of time. I think that would have been really cool, but the live stream is just somehow magically working this far away from cell towers and stuff. This is just a fun little airlock area. Yeah, you can hear it just barely. I may have to do some editing for that on my own, but there is a bit of a hum for these things. It's supposed to be a little louder, but I had to lower it for the player talking. Originally here, I was going to have an encounter where you would have fought some stuff, and they would have, you would have used these things as cover, but I figured since this is the finale, and I wanted to get the actual story of the game, I actually wanted to focus a bit more on the story. There was not going to be a battle here. So I had a lot of fun recording that line. Yeah, so this skybox, it looks kind of, like a winter sky, but then it has like these oil rigs and stuff in the background, and I'm like, this would be perfect to show a new continent that you end up wandering into. So yeah, that was a bit of an exposition dump. I couldn't figure out how to implement it better. Slidovid Ostrovo is the name of one of the islands or countries or whatever that's beyond the ice wall. Terrorist attack in Antarctica. U.S., Russia, and Egypt to lead coalition to help Chile. All right, so give me a second, and I'll pull up the images of the loading screens. All right, so this is the first one. Truth Untold, Beyond the Ice Wall. They are lying to you. So we can zoom in here. This isn't the greatest picture because I don't know if I have the original picture on my desktop, but basically, this is our world. This is the ice wall, and here's the stuff that lies around it. This is called the Mountain Ring, which is what the Watcher mentioned. And basically, in my timeline, all of these countries have been locked in an endless war against the zombies, except for Slidovid Ostrovo, which is the one who created them, and they no longer exist. What I haven't explained in the game, and what I'm probably going to do for the third game, because people have been asking for a sequel to this game, so I'm going to turn this into a trilogy, is I'm going to try to explore why the Watchers came here. So this is basically going to tie into Sector 12, which I regret doing for Flesh and Bones. I'm not going to regret doing for here because I think this works better here. This is how the events of Sector 12 end up happening. Is the Watchers made it through the ice wall, grabbed some zombies, and started bringing them back to Sector 12 to start working on them. But yeah, so I used an app called Zeebo, I don't remember what it's called, to make the Instagram page. Then I use Photoshop. As you can see, it's not the greatest Photoshop to put the guy's hand, or to put it on this phone that this guy is holding. And I wanted to make a background. This is not the character you play as. This is a different guy. Just wanted to show like his little apartment. It's not the greatest looking because conspiracy nut. So here's the second one. So this is the image that I said. This was posted by the official Chile, Instagram account. So apparently Chile is pulling the strings for the U.S. and Russia. I'm going to mess up these flags. So this is the Myanmar flag. This is the Egypt flag. I think I can't remember. I'm not very good with flags, but so I just named all these countries, right? And I'm like, these are the countries that are a part of the Ice Wall coalition thing that's hiding this great conspiracy. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but Chile posted this, and I thought it was hilarious, so I decided to go with it. And as you can see, not very well did a Photoshop of the guy's hands blue. So he's wearing gloves and he's working in some sort of meat factory, looking at conspiracy theories, and says the U.S. does not run the world. It's Chile. They are lying to you. And just some comments about that. So then this is a very weird image I found. I looked up weird restaurants on Google, and this was the first result, and it's some weird toilet themed restaurant where you sit on toilet seats. And I'm like, you know what? This is hilarious. Let's just throw it in. If people are paying attention to the loading screens, they're gonna notice this. So, the guy after work, he's here, he's eating at this restaurant, and he's checking his Instagram. Something I forgot to mention too. If you notice, he doesn't liked anything here. He's liked this one, and now he's following Truth Untold in the third one. So that was just kind of this little subtle thing, an intentionally little subtle thing. Chile has land in Antarctica. They're the only ones who do. Antarctica is the entry past the ice wall. Originally, your character was going to be Preston Wallace, and he was going to be the one who you played as in the game. I changed that to make the character Truth Untold. So, yeah. Probably the worst thing about this is the image that Zebu made for all the social media posts was different in size because of how big the picture was. And I didn't really have time to make it all fit, so it looks a little bad. I don't like that, but oh well. And the final one, this is probably the worst one, but I didn't know how to do it for the final level. He's in some sort of classroom or in some sort of library, and he's on Twitter. This is what the world looks like. The government doesn't want you to know. They are hiding this from you. And then yeah, so this was the final one. I decided to do a Twitter just because I didn't know if doing another Instagram post would feel a little samey, and I also couldn't really find a good image. I guess this image would have worked, but I don't know. So then this is the good ending screen. Terrorist attack in Antarctica, U.S., Russia, and Egypt to lead military efforts to help Chile. And here's the bad one. Failed terrorist attack reports. Chile reports a failed terrorist attack on Antarctic territory. That's what happens if you die and get the game over screen. And, same background and everything. So, yeah. So, I had a lot of fun making this. I'm definitely looking forward to making the third game for this little flat earth conspiracy theory game. I'm not sure what it's going to be about, but I'll brainstorm that later. Personally, I think this game should have taken 5th place in the Days of Horror Game Jam, but I understand why it took 6th. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.